Anticipation has been building for the last couple of months. At last, Etihad, okay, can you hold it? At last, Etihad flight with partnership with SM Brussels Airlines has arrived in Canada. Thank you for being here tonight, sharing this moment with us, as opposed to be trick-and-treating with your families. Please allow me to recognize the presence of His Excellency the Canadian Ambassador to the UAE, the Belgian Ambassador to Canada, the Chargé d'Affaires of the UAE Embassy, the representative of the Canadian Ministry of Economy, Development and Trade, presidents of various business councils, including the Canadian Arab Business Council, the press, our distinguished clients, airport authorities, and finally the airline representatives. I would like to ask Mr. Khalid Al-Merhabi, Etihad VP Corporate Affairs, and SM Brussels Airlines, Mr. Philip Saunders, which is right here beside us, Executive Vice President Commercial, to come forward and address the gathering. Please.
Hello. It is with great pleasure that Etihad Airways, the national airline of the United Arab Emirates, has opened this brand new route between Abu Dhabi and Toronto. And we are honored to be the only airline in the Middle East flying here. The UAE and Canada have enjoyed a tremendous bilateral relationship for many years. And this is a set to develop further new. Now there will be a regular non-stop flights 3 times a week between these two fine cities. There has been a demand for this route for a long time, with many Emirati families and multinational UAE residents looking to visit friends and family in Canada. We are also looking forward to develop the cultural and social bonds in this area, such as education and medical treatment. Tourism will be also will also be to be flourished between Canada and the UAE, whether it's Canadian hungry for Arabian culture or Emiratis eager for some of your fine countryside and outdoor activities. It will be the start for a long and fruitful relationship. In the end, many thanks for our partner SM Brussels for their cooperation and code-sharing between Belgium and Toronto. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, Mr. Al-Merhabi, Mr. David Hutton, Ambassador of Canada to the United Arab Emirates, and Monsieur Leroy, Belgian Ambassador to Canada. It's a great pleasure for us all to be here this evening. I must say, this is the first time in my life that I've attended 3 inaugural flights in one day. And if I may say, the cakes just get better and better and better. But it's a huge honour to be here today. Almost 2 years of Etihad as well, and SM Brussels Airlines working together side by side with Etihad, the first airline partner. Having visited Abu Dhabi, Brussels and Toronto in one day, I can assure everybody here in Toronto that the Emirates of Abu Dhabi has so much to offer in its wonderful city, its warm beaches, and its beautiful oasis town of Al Ain. At the same time, SM Brussels Airlines, as the key partner of Etihad here in Toronto, looks forward to providing service to Belgium with the very finest chocolates, the very finest beers and beautiful cities, onto Europe and Africa. Together, Etihad, SM Brussels Airlines and Canada, a winning team. It's a great honour, and we look forward to a long and successful relationship, bringing our 3 great countries together. Thank you very much indeed.
At At this time, I would like to call the Belgian ambassador, His Excellency Mr. Daniel Leroy, and the Chargé d'Affaires of the United Embassy, Mr. Khalifa Almaz-Roy, to address the gathering.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. It's a great pleasure for me to be here tonight, and the new flight between Abu Dhabi, Brussels, and Toronto is a proof that it could be a very nice cooperation between airlines. Usually they talk about competition among them, but this is a very good cooperation. And as ambassador of Belgium here in Canada, it is my pleasure, a very pleasure, to have a Belgian airline back to Canada. The last one stopped 4 years ago, and now again there will be a direct flight from Brussels to Canada, and I'm pleased that it is to Toronto, which is the economic metropole of Canada. And I wish Etihad and SN Brussels Airlines my best wishes for a very successful endeavor. Thank you and good evening.
Good evening. Your Excellency, Mr. David Hatton, Your Excellency Ambassador of Belgium, Mr. Al Hinton of Ontario Government, Mr. Mann, Executive Director of Canada Arab Business Council, senior members of Etihad and Brussels Airlines, our commercial partners, member of press, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of my government and my staff at the embassy, I'm honored to congratulate Etihad Airways together with Brussels Airlines on launching their inaugural flight to Abu Dhabi via Brussels. In 2 years that Etihad Airways has taken the skies, we have witnessed the airline's strong progress and dynamic expansion. We realize there has been many government partners, senior directors and individuals involved to allow the success of this inaugural flight this evening. We have to I have to express my sincere appreciation to Mr. Paul Karbach, who worked so hardly in order to get this flight launched tonight. I'd like to express also my sincere appreciation for Etihad Airways for their generous effort to bring the national hockey team to Toronto to play against the National Hockey League on November 12th. On hope they qualified for the World Hockey Championship in Russia 2007. And I wish to express my best wishes to everyone on this flight to get there the final destination with every success. Thank you so much.
Last but not least, His Excellency Mr. David Hutton, Canadian Ambassador to the UAE.
Excellencies, fellow passengers, and the executives of SN Brussels and Etihad Airlines, let me just add my congratulations for establishing what I think will be one of the most significant links that will take place during my term as ambassador to the UAE. Our relationship between Canada and the UAE is already a very solid one. In the time that I've been there, for example, our trade has doubled. But I have every confidence that with this new service, that all of these opportunities that exist in both of our countries will just be that much easier to take advantage of. I'm delighted to have traveled here today with the delegation from the Canadian Business Council. I think that speaks for itself in terms of the opportunities that we see for developing virtually every sector, be it tourism, be it business, be it education. And I think the example that was just given by my colleague of a hockey match between the national team of the United Arab Emirates and some Canadian NHL old-timers is just one more very innovative thought. And I'm delighted to say that there'll probably be a return match in Abu Dhabi sometime in February. So again, my thanks. The last time I made this trip from Canada to the UAE, it took me over 30 hours. And this was certainly about half that. So I think we can congratulate that in this world that is shrinking. This is a very, very positive example of it. Thank you very much.
One, two, three.
Distinguished gentlemen, there's a lot of things that happen. You know what? Can you help me with this? Yes. Everybody will take that out, please. Yeah, the airways. Thank you. What happened to us in Brussels? Thank you very much. Welcome to Toronto.
Thank you.
Ça me rappelle la prière, la natation, quand il gagne,
Lève ton bouquet, yeah!
Hello, I'm Stuart Brown. I'm here with TorontoTv, and I'm speaking with David Hutton, who's the ambassador to UAE. And this event is the Etihad Airways first start to operations to Toronto. How are you doing this evening?
Very well, thank you.
And were you on the flight?
I was accompanying a Canadian business delegation that is working in the United Arab Emirates and will be making a presentation tomorrow at the conference of the Canadian manufacturers and exporters.
How did you find the flight?
I found it excellent. Of course, the most significant aspect is not only the hospitality, but the fact that it cuts down the travel time very significantly. By staying on the same airplane, travel times are reduced by at least, I'd say, 40 to 50%.
What about the cost? Does it cost a lot cheaper, or?
I think that the fares will be certainly competitive. I'm not really aware of how that will be factored in.
And is it a lot more of an advantage to travel to other areas in the Middle East? Like, can this flight provide this UAE as a hub, per se, to getting to other countries like Israel, for example, or other areas in the Middle East?
Well, certainly the UAE and Abu Dhabi are becoming very, very significant logistical centers. The transportation connections that are available to travelers or to business people and shippers are really enormous. It's not just the Gulf, but in fact it's the whole of the greater region, which of course includes much of the subcontinent. So we're talking about a market of probably over 1.5 billion people.
Okay, so which industries do you expect to profit from this new airline service?
I would think virtually every industry. We're hoping to promote Canada as an increased tourist destination. There are many students from the region that are studying in Canada, and obviously this will facilitate their choice of Canada as opposed to Australia or universities in the European Union. But almost any sector, I think, will benefit, whether it's agriculture, manufacturing goods, high technology. This just makes things better and easier.
Great. So why don't they choose Toronto as opposed to maybe New York City or Chicago as the kind of the hub for doing
Well,
business?
I think it reflects the fact that Toronto is an extremely important entry point for Canada, and I'm very proud that Etihad chose this as their first North American landing.
And is there any increased concerns about security for Canada or the U.S. now that this service is in effect?
Well, obviously the strict standards that are applied on every airline are applied, and with Etihad we have their full cooperation, and I expect that this airline and this connection is going to function extremely well.
Okay.
Our exports to the UAE are as I was saying in my introductory remarks, have doubled in the time that I've been there, and now are surpassing the 400 million mark and could very well reach 500 million. That makes the UAE Canada's largest trading partner in the North Africa and Middle East region. And interestingly enough, our exports to the UAE are greater than our exports to Russia.
What kind of export to technology?
It's extremely broadly ranged, from aircraft to aircraft simulators for the training of pilots, to oil equipment, to food and agricultural products. Our engineering services and architects are extremely active there. It's a very broad and a very sophisticated product range.
What about tourism? Is there a lot of cross-tourism between UAE and Canada?
I think distances have played a factor in that, but with this new connection, I anticipate that the interest for those living in the Gulf to come to Canada, particularly during the summer months, is going to increase very, very significantly.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much for talking with us, David.
My pleasure.
And we hope that Etihad has a very large success with Canada and the UAE.
Well, come over and see us.
Great. Hello, I'm Stuart Brown with TorontoTv, and I'm here with Mr. Polly Karbach, who is the area manager for Canada for Etihad Airways. Hi, welcome to TorontoTV.
Thank you very much.
So this is a very major event, obviously. I hear that the airline is only 2 years old, is that correct?
That is correct. We are 23 months old, actually. Very new airline, based in Abu Dhabi, flying 3 times a week as from today, Monday, Wednesday, Friday to Canada.
Okay, great. And so I guess it's had quite a large growth curve now that you were doing.
Yeah, the expansion program has been pretty aggressive. We basically are growing 1 destination per month. It is kind of unprecedented in the airline industry. We will be flying soon to new destinations. Today we fly to 19 destinations worldwide. We bought our own aircraft, and the future looks bright.
Great. And so is it mainly the Middle East and Europe, or do you do any other flying to Asia? Or
well, our hub is based in Abu Dhabi, and from there we go to Europe, flying basically to London Gatwick, London Heathrow, Munich, Geneva, Zurich, not Zurich yet, Paris. We are going to start probably by the end of this year, beginning next year. We do fly Frankfurt on a daily basis, and then we fly into the Asian subcontinent, so basically Karachi, Delhi, Bombay, Colombo, and we fly as well to Bangkok in the Far East, and now to Toronto via Brussels.
Great. So with this new service to Toronto, is that going to cut costs as well as time, or is it just cutting time?
Well, I think that it's going to do both. It's going to cut. It's going to be a direct flight. It's in fact the only direct flight. We are hoping to link 2 countries that have a potential to work together and create new business and new leisure traffic and so on and so forth.
Is Canada a high priority for tourism with Middle Easterns?
Not really, and one could see that as the half glass empty or the half glass full. We like to think that there is a huge potential for Canadians to go down to the Middle East. One just have to understand that the Middle East is a beautiful place to be. It's very safe and it's affordable. You can have excellent quality hotels for relatively inexpensive price. And you know, starting with the fact that Abu Dhabi you don't see rain. It's just good weather, just hot weather. So it's the ideal location for one that is tired of going to Mexico or to Miami.
What about Middle Easterns coming to Canada?
I think it is a natural way for a lot of the Indian of the subcontinent people that immigrate to Canada make the route via the Middle East. Normally they have work to do there, and then they come to Canada. So these people, when they want to go back and visit their relatives, their friends, they basically fly back to the place where they have worked before, and then they go back to where they were born. So there is a constant traffic going back and forth.
Okay. And why did Etihad choose Toronto over a city like New York or Chicago?
Well, I think it was a strategic move. We wanted to be here first. There are other airlines that would like to fly to Canada as well. We thought that it would be good to come here and establish ourselves and work ourselves from scratch.
Okay, and what did the passengers think of the flight?
So far we have got some, despite our only 23 months, we got some prices already. The best new airline, startup airline. So I think to be successful in the airline industry today, which is a very competitive market, you need to do the right thing. And the edge is very little, so we're trying to raise a little bit that bar.
Is there anything different that Etihad is doing with their service, i.e. cultural, food, or experience for the passengers?
Well, we have signature dishes. We don't measure expenses in serving good food on board. We also don't have, we don't transport passengers. We have guests, and we treat them in our diamond, pearl, or coral classes, as opposed to the others which have first, business, and economy classes.
Thank you very much for talking with us, Mr. Kirbach, and really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Best of luck with the airline.
Thank you very much. We are excited.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
يا كندا مبروك عليكي يا كندا بخطوط الاتحاد يا كندا مبروك عليكم يا مسلمين بخطوط الاتحاد يا مسلمين يا ربي بارك يا الله هذا الأمير بن نهيان جاء يدشن خطوط الأمان هذا الأمير أحمد ابن نهيان جاء يدشن خطوط الأمان السكيورتي هذا الأمير بن نهيان جاء يدشن خطوط الآمال لخدمة المسلمين لخدمة المسلمين لخدمة العالمين ونيل الأجر يوم الدين الله 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 لا إله إلا الله لا تخافوا يا مسلمين الطعام حلال باليقين لا تخافوا يا مسلمين الطعام حلال باليقين لقد سعوا أهل الدين لقد سعوا أهل الدين النهيان عارفين الله 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 يا ربي بارك يا الله شعار الخطوط من قول الله شعار الخطوط من قول الله سبحان من سخر لنا هذا وما كنا له مقرنين وإنا لربنا لمنقلبون صدق الله رب العالمين الله 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 يا ربي بارك يا الله خطوط الاتحاد عربية والأولى والله وإسلامية خطوط الاتحاد عربية والأولى والله وإسلامية لحمل الناس على البراق، حمل الناس على البراق ووصلهم في الأوطان. الله 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 لا إله إلا الله. نسألك يا رب العباد تحمي الطائرات الاتحاد، نسألك يا رب العباد تحمي طائرات الاتحاد لما بذلوه من نشاط. احفظهن يا ربي بالذهاب والإياب. الله الله